content experience to customers, and we are much more responsible for the backend part, so storing the data, setting up the sales and support processes, and so on. Next slide, Adri.
Regarding the activities that you do in the digital customer engineering department, do you also code yourself, or is part of your job, daily job, also to customize scripts, or is something that you normally ask someone else to do?
I would love to outsource it sometimes, but no, I'm doing it myself, and Adri too. So
yes,
most of the code that is required, we write, of course, ourselves. Doesn't mean that if we can solve certain issues or solutions by declaratively, so by configuration, we also use that, of course, because it's way easier sometimes than writing code, or it's more maintainable. So there are different reasons why we sometimes do not choose to do things custom.
So they include also Apex, but also JavaScript, and
yes.
so you have kind of broad knowledge of the different languages in order to do that.
Yeah, so actually it's pretty limited. So it's Apex and JavaScript mainly, and a bit of HTML, CSS for the front end part, of course. But I think Salesforce is also moving towards including more programming language in the future. So that will become more robust in that sense. But for now, it's mainly Apex and JavaScript, indeed. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Next slide. Thanks. Yeah, so these two customers, three outstanding or three active partnerships. One is with Salesforce, so we're really like a key partner within the Netherlands for them. You will also see that like on many of their events that we're usually at the front. And the benefit of this is we have a good relationship with them. They actually also work in the same building as us. I think that's still the case. Yeah, I haven't been there a long time in the Edge, but they're also there. And the benefit of this is also that on a monthly basis, we do see Salesforce representatives engaging with us, and especially at the clients too, of course. Yeah, then there are the two other alliances which are a bit less interesting to highlight, I guess, for today. But the mobile team actively works with Apple on their implementations, and MuleSoft, we also implement that at clients, and that team is really focused on the middleware part of the implementations as clients, so really the API integrations at clients on a bigger scale. Okay, that brings us to the part that Ari will be presenting.
Yes, thanks, Marius. So as Marius already mentioned, he and I are working at Digital Customer Engineering within Digital Customer. So this is a smaller team within Digital Customer. And the first thing that I would like to tell you is that we are really global. Even though we are the sub-team within a team, we have so many people globally. And in EMEA ourselves, we have more than 1,000 people, and we have a lot of contacts with other people from other countries in EMEA, a lot. But there are also some projects, or some people actually go for projects abroad in America or in Asia Pacific. So Salesforce implementation within Deloitte is really wide globally, and it's not limiting you for only working within the Netherlands. So there are always opportunities out there that our implementation has a crossing path with other projects within America or on the other side of the world, for instance. Yeah, these are just numbers, but that's the main point, that we are not only working within the Netherlands. And to give it a little bit smaller scope, when we're talking about Europe, especially the Netherlands, yeah, within the Netherlands, in EU itself, we have still more than 1,000 people, and within the Netherlands, we've done over 150 Salesforce projects already. So that's quite a lot actually for, let's say, around a little bit over 10 years of implementation with Salesforce. And we have so many certifications. So that's something that Deloitte always push their employees to do, to get their certification, to keep their knowledge up to date. So that's again related to the training hours that Marius presented earlier, that we are expected to develop ourselves and keep on learning. So that's something that I've been doing since the first month that I joined Deloitte, got my first certification, and keep searching for the new certification that really interests me. Yeah, so that's about numbers. And we also have some focus areas within digital customer engineering itself. So we are one Salesforce team, but within the team, you can also choose an area that you want to specialize in. So at the beginning of the career, maybe it's not really clear for everyone, okay, what should I focus on? What do I want to be in, let's say, 10, 20 years? It's not always very clear at the beginning, but we have the chance to touch everything. So my first year, I touched, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 of this, try to get to know these things and what they're about. So the engineering team mostly focus on all the technical implementation, like programming, coding, and higher quality standards, something like that. And the architecture areas are focusing on how we build Salesforce platform or implement it in a really good way, in a higher level architecture. And then we also have a release orchestration that's mainly focused on the release management. So how we bring changes or impact from a development environment to production. So we always work in something that we call sandbox. That's like a playground for us. We try our cool stuff there, and then how we can push it to an actual version that the user uses in a good way. So that's the release management is about. And then the last is about integration. We also deal with a lot of integration actually within the platform. So Salesforce sounds like a very limited platform, that it is only about CRM. But in my personal project itself, we deal with maybe 5 or more integration with other systems. We have integration with SharePoint or Azure or other information provider. So those are the main focus areas that we have within the digital customer engineering. So you can choose what you want to specialize in. And then moving on, other than all the serious stuff that we just explained, we also have fun activities within the teams, and even a lot of them actually. So we have a lot of gatherings. We have monthly DC get-together. That is a digital customer get-together. So that is when we have a gathering or online meetings nowadays, that we hear an update from leadership. We hear an update from other teams, just to keep everyone within the DC group up to date with what is happening. We have developer session. That is a session specifically for the digital customer engineering team. So that's like a knowledge sharing session. So we have interesting topics every month, also presented by one of us, to learn from each other, from other people's projects. We share results and stuff. We have EMEA-wide engineering meetup. That's when we have development talks within EMEA. So we also share knowledge across countries. So that's pretty cool. We also have a yearly hackathon. It's an internal hackathon where you are free to build something cool within the Salesforce platform. So there is one example picture of there where we built an AR application from Salesforce. So data all comes from Salesforce, and it uses like all your mobile functionality to present it in the real world as an AR. So it's pretty cool. So we also have some coding challenges. We sometimes pointed out some of our colleagues to pick up some coding challenges just to refresh our minds and stuff. Then we also have gaming night. These are some pictures from a gaming night where we have fun together, just play online game together. Also Friday drinks. Yeah, of course, now we do it online, but it's still fun. So it's not always about serious and work. Fun stuff also happens with the team.
So we have like a motto: play hard, work hard, kind of motto. So it's
exactly, that's a good one.
It's not always easy at Deloitte, so you're really being pushed to develop yourself. And the benefit of that is, of course, that you get a lot of opportunities to develop yourself. But there's also a lot of opportunities to have fun. Like this has been the most fun job for me ever. And I've worked at ABN AMRO before, and PostNL, some other companies. But so far, this has been the best for me. That's like my personal experience.
Totally agree about that. So that's what we have as a side activities. There are more, of course, but these are the main events that we have. Okay, moving on. Is there any questions, by the way, so far before we move on to projects?
See,
yes, I had a question.
In the chat. Yeah, please present.
Sorry. Yes, I had a question, but you are already going to that topic. I wanted to ask, how do you see the future for Deloitte in the Netherlands? What are the main topics you guys still want to employ? So what do you guys still want to do in the Salesforce side in the Netherlands? Because I see you have so many companies already, but what is the main topic that you guys are going to focus on these coming few years?
It's a good question. We're not really going into the industries, but with the project part, I mean, but I can answer your question. So yeah, like you saw before, we have like 5 main industries, and that's actually our all focus areas. So we've seen within the Netherlands that Salesforce is sold to many clients within all those industries. So it's not like wherever we can do a client assignment and we think we can do good there, that's where we try to add value.
Okay.
I think there are, like, opportunity wise, the financial services industry is a very good opportunity. We're very active in the consumer industry also, but there's also a healthcare team which really focuses on the healthcare industry. And I also know that at municipalities and so more the public industry, we're also pretty active there. So generally speaking, there are a lot of opportunities to do the client work at different companies that you see here. And it's not that you need to be picky about it. If you prefer a certain industry, you can go for that, actually, usually.
Yeah, I think it's also good to mention that even nowadays we see even more opportunities that companies want to go digital. Ever since the COVID times, some companies just realize how much digitalization is important for their companies. So I think after we have the recovery phase, we would have even more projects.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, can we move on to some projects that we have. So I'm going to start with my own project. So the project that I'm currently working on, it's called the Jumbo Medewerker app. So I believe you all know what Jumbo is, basically a supermarket. So what I'm working on is actually a mobile app to support all the store employees. So the main reason behind it is, of course, again, digitalization. We want to eliminate all the paperwork and make everything digitalized and help all the store employees to support all the customers within the stores easier. You also want to give them time efficiency while they are working at the store, to eliminate all the time wasting activities. And then we also want to increase the communication from the headquarters of Jumbo to all the stores. You can imagine if they have so many stores within the Netherlands, it's not the easiest task to share or communicate to all of them. We want to keep all the employees informed at any time and any place. And what is this app actually? So this doesn't look like Salesforce, I have to say, but Salesforce is actually the backbone of this app. So this app is built with React Native. So this is one of the examples where we work closely with the mobile team. So the Salesforce team work closely with the mobile team. So they built the front-end side, and we, as the backend developer or Salesforce developer, we focus on the backend implementation. So all the data comes from Salesforce in this case. And all the integration also happens from Salesforce. So there are so many features within the app that takes information from other internal Jumbo systems. But to keep it secure, we have the Salesforce platform, which takes care of a lot of security concerns to make a secure integration with other systems. So we make sure that the data flow from other system goes to the app without any problem. Yeah, there are still a lot of things to develop on this app, actually. But I'm gonna walk you through some of the main features that that is interesting within the app. So the first thing is about case handling, actually. So this is about reporting an incident. So it's not rarely that something bad happened within the store or something needs to be updated. As simple as a barcode of a product cannot be scanned, for instance. So those kind of small incidents needs to be reported to the service center. So within the Jumbo headquarters, there is a section where they have so many people working as the service center. It's like the contact center whenever there's an issue. And before we have the app, there is one computer in the back office of every store where an employee can go to that desktop and then input some information about what is happening or what the issue is. But now, with this app, we enable every single employee to report a case whenever they are within the store. So let's say I'm currently on shelf milk and I see something is wrong there. I can directly create incident report from that shelf saying, okay, something's broken here, here, and there. And then it will go to the Jumbo headquarters service center. They will pick up the case there. They will pick up, they will see what's reported from which store, from which employee, exactly. And they will start resolving the case. And they will resolve that, and then they will keep the reporter up to date by updating the case, and it will send push notification to the app, and the reporter will get updated immediately. So it decreases a lot of time actually for incident report. They don't need to go to the back office, and everyone now can report a case. It's not only the manager. So that is one of the main features of the app. Saves time a lot. Oh, that's a really good question. So we make it available for their personal device, actually. So one thing that we also want to move away from is the dependency of devices. So you see sometimes there is a pretty big device from a company, or like a pager, a big pager looking like device. So that thing is not really future-proof, right? And when we are talking about personal device or phone, we see this as a future-proof device where we keep our app up to date and devices are keep changing as well. And this makes it easier for every single employees also that they already have their own device, and they don't need to carry separate device for this. Any other question?
What about some phones what doesn't has a lot of data storage? Does this app cost a lot of data?
No.
No.
The data storage, as in the phone storage, right?
Yeah, indeed.
No. So all the information comes from the cloud. So Salesforce is running on the cloud, and no storage is needed. So it's just internet connection that you fetch data from the cloud.
Very handy.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us to the second main feature that we have, is the task digitalization. So you see sometimes within stores, they have a paper checklist of what they need to do. And they have to check it, and they have to bring a pen, and paper is just a waste. And we've also digitalized that. As you can see on the right, how it's set up. So now the employees or the managers can schedule the task and already create a recurring schedule for them. And we have a nightly job to create all the predefined tasks from the desktop and push it to the app when the day comes. So I can now create a task for next week, Tuesday, for this person, and it will be created by the day. So when the employee walks into the store for work, they already have all the tasks within their phone prepared for them. So they just need to click with one press of a button, and they're done. So this eliminates a lot of paperwork, actually.
And this also makes it possible to hand over tasks much more easily. So you just assign it to a new person, and that person also gets to see that task then on their own list, instead of walking to that person or sending a separate WhatsApp chat or something like that. So also from a task management perspective, this has resulted in a lot more efficiency within the stores.
I cannot see the day when you can connect that one with Google Glasses or something like that. I think it's it's a big kind of easy alternative to connect all this information with these kind of tools as well. Because what I'm seeing right now is they use the telephone, but you can see all the information also in enterprises.
The business owner of this project, he has the same vision. He really wants to actually eliminate the need to have a mobile device in your hand, but to be much more engaging with the customer.
Absolutely, I see if it does, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, who knows when it happens? But this was the first step to the stores. I'm very curious what will happen in the future. Yeah, indeed.
But this is very Salesforce-like approach, right? This app.
Well, yes and no. We combine, actually. So with the service case handling, it's really Salesforce main feature as well. And we've implemented it in a different way. It's not really common that you see a mobile app with all the standard Salesforce functionality, but this is one of the implementation where we combine our mobile solution with our Salesforce implementation. So there are a lot of custom solutions as well on the side.
But really the support processes and the way we process things, I think that's really driven by Salesforce. But the front-end layer, what we present to the customer, there were some extra requirements there, and that's why we deviated from the Salesforce app to have a bit more flexibility on that side, actually.
I have a question, Tariq.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I missed something, but what the other side, but in the head office, what the system there to handle this information, these cases? The same Salesforce.
Yes.
Salesforce.
Yeah.
And here, such as Eve said, maybe here working with queue and users in those such as in Salesforce. I mean, is in a queue. The cases go to queue and of specific users in the head office to be handled cases.
Yeah, we also have a queues or case handlers in the background?
Yeah, so it's more about the features of Services Cloud, right? If we really implemented those modules, and we did. So there's like for the Jumbo Service Center, so that's the back office. We've implemented the whole way that they do case management and cases come in. Also through chat, live chat. If I'm not mistaken, Adri, please correct me. It's been a long time for me that I was at Jumbo. But also, like you said, with queues and groups and routing and that kind of processes that of course, we set that up. If required by the customer, we help them with that. Yeah.
Also with Einstein scripts and all that.
Not for this specific project.
No, we've done some I think proof of concepts on that.